Clock is ticking, and this slows down the process. Thank you very much for your report. I appreciate it. Let's get right to our panel. We have New Hampshire Democratic Senator Shaheen, Texas Republican Senator Kay Bailey Hutchison. Senator Hutchison, I want to ask you, the Boehner plan may tank in the House. What is going on in the Senate? I don't understand. What is the Republican plan right now? I know what Senator Reid's plan is. What is your plan?
Well, we were looking at the Boehner plan and hoping that we could put together something that everyone would support with real cuts, which we are concerned Senator Reid's plan does not have, and the combination of some of the things from the Gang of Six, some of the things from the House plan, but apparently the House plan is being pulled and is, according to reports, not coming out as high as they wanted in the number of deficit cuts.
So let me get this right. There is no Republican plan in the Senate. That's basically what you're saying.
Yes, the Republican plan in the Senate was put forward by Senator McConnell and Senator Reid with joint cuts and a joint commission, which has also met some opposition. But the purpose of the commission is to have caps and then put the meat on the bones for the cutting and spending.
Well, all right, Senator Shaheen, I posit the view that the Senator Reid plan, which is close in total spending cuts, not as tough as the Boehner plan, but close, has no taxes and also has a congressional committee to cut more later in the year. Senator Shaheen, I submit the Reid plan is the Republican plan. Are you in favor of the Reid plan?
Well, look, as you've pointed out, the time is running out. Time for us to come to an agreement on a plan that gets this done, that raises the debt ceiling, and that puts us on a course to address our long-term debt and deficits. Now, the Reid plan is not my favorite. I think we ought to be looking at revenues, that they need to be on the table along with cuts. But the reality is the Reid plan has $1.2 trillion in cuts. They're cuts that have already been voted on and agreed to by members of the Senate and the House. It includes $1 trillion in overseas contingency operations for Iraq and Afghanistan that have already been voted on and agreed to as cuts. And it includes a reduction in interest on the debt payment as the result of those cuts.
So you can buy into it. You can buy into it. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying this is a plan that gets us where we need to go by August the 2nd.
All right.
And if that's in front of me, I can buy into it. I want to see that long-term commission that Senator Hutchison has talked about that will continue to look at how we get the debt and deficit under control and that puts revenues on the table.
Senator Hutchison, why not work with the Reid plan, which has elements of Senator McConnell, Mitch McConnell's earlier plan? Why not work with it? Why not tweak it? Why not make it better? Why not put caps, better spending caps? Why not put better enforcement for the second tranche of the debt commission? Why not just go with that plan? The clock is ticking. Stocks are falling 100 points a day. I'm just describing the reality. Why not adopt the Reid plan? I'm not shilling for him. I'm just saying right now he's got no taxes. That's what you all want. He's giving it to you on a silver platter. What you waiting for?
We want to have real cuts. That's what we're waiting for. When you assume that we're going to be out of Afghanistan and Iraq, and then you don't make the contingencies for being there, then that's why we're in the mess we're in. We don't know that those drawdowns are going to occur. We hope so, but we don't know what the conditions on the ground are.
You know, Senator Hutchison, with all due respect, Senator Hutchison, let me just say to you, we don't know if we can pay the interest on our debt. How about that? That's something we don't know right now.
He has got he calls it cuts when he's talking about eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse. I mean, we all want to eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse, but you can't call that a cut. You've got to cut real programs if you're going to get this deficit down. We can start from where Harry Reid and Mitch McConnell are. They are trying to work together. They're trying to work with Speaker Boehner to get something that we could vote on one time in both houses. But that's not happening right now, so we're going to have to go back to the drawing board.
Right. Today is Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. A week from today is August 2nd. I'm sure you know the calendar as well as I do. Senator Shaheen, I didn't understand President Obama's speech last night. He's touting his own plan, but nobody else in town is. He's touting $1.2 trillion in tax revenues. Nobody else is anymore. He's thrashing about blasting millionaires, billionaires, hedge fund traders. Hedge fund traders didn't cause this mess. Overspending did. What is the president doing? Is this leadership?
Well, look, I think, as we've both said, we need to get a plan on the table that we can vote on by August the 2nd. That's what the Reid Plan does. That $1 trillion that Senator Hutchison has concerns about, 40 members of the Senate, Republican members of the Senate, have already voted for that. So I think we've got something in there that we can all agree that we need to work on, but it's a starting point. It gets us past this crisis situation, and it doesn't touch Medicare and the entitlements, Social Security, something that I think we're all concerned about.
Senator Hutchison, I'm just going to bet, we're going to interview Mr. Beers of S&P in just a few moments, that his minimal starting point is a $3 trillion budget cut. That's what I'm going to bet. You're not there. You're nowhere near there.
Well, I agree with you. We're not there. We need to be there. But what this commission does, Larry, is assure that by the end of the year, we do have more cuts, that we are working more toward the $3 trillion over 10 years rather than $1 trillion. We know that's not enough. And by the way, we aren't going to raise the debt ceiling beyond what those cuts would produce. But you've got to have real cuts if you're going to actually try to score it as budget cuts. And just taking out waste, fraud, and abuse that might be there in the future is not a cut. We want concrete cuts.
Who right now in the Republican leadership is working on this deal? Because today was kind of a lost day, best I can find. Who's actually running the show on your side? Is it you? Is it Mr. Kyle? Is it Mr. McConnell? Is it Mr. Sessions? Who's running the show on the Republican side right now?
It is Senator McConnell and Senator Kyle, Senator Sessions as well, and they are working with Senator Reid and his leadership, as well as Speaker Boehner. There are talks going on all over this Capitol trying to come up with something that both houses can pass. Now, clearly, Speaker Boehner apparently has not got the votes for his plan, and I think they are talking about a contingency that makes deep cuts now as a down payment, but assures that there will be caps on spending for the cuts in the future.
Senator Shaheen, if the Republicans they redo their plan, tighten it up, get bigger numbers, because they had a setback today, as you well know. If they come in with a balanced budget amendment, does that decay the trade? Does that kill it?
It does. And look, we need to get something in place that's going to get us through at least the next year. We need to provide some certainty to businesses that we're serious about this issue. The Reid Plan has $1.2 trillion in cuts in it. Those are real cuts. They're cuts that I'm not very happy about because they hit some of the things that I think are very important to New Hampshire residents. But I think if we're going to get a deal here, we're going to get something that is a proposal to go forward. We've all got to come to the table, and we've all got to be willing to compromise and negotiate. And that means everybody doesn't get what they want. So I hope that people are going to be willing to do that, because we don't have much time left.
I understand that. And that was my last question. To put something together, what's the legislative calendar look like? Don't you have to post it for 3 days?
Well, if everybody agrees that we need to move forward, we can do that. As you know, the Senate operates by unanimous consent. I hope that everybody's going to agree that this is an issue that we need to work together on and get it done.
Senator Hutchison, I tell you, I may be wrong about this, Lord knows, but I think Senator Reid's got the best plan on the table, or some meld, some merger. I talked to Eric Cantor about this last night. Merge Boehner plus Reid, let's get it done. Rome could be burning, Senator Hutchison. That's what troubles me. Rome could be
Larry,
burning here.
That's exactly what's happening. I think that Speaker Boehner and Senator Reid and Senator McConnell are in talks that would come to a conclusion that melds many of the plans that have been put out there. There have been a lot of good suggestions. Now we've got to have on this short timetable something that gets us started with the assurance that we have more down the road before the end of the year.
All right.
That's what it's going to take, and I think those are the exact plans that are in the works right now, just as you have said.
I hope so. All right. Thank you very much, Senator Jean Shaheen and Kay Bailey Hutchison. We appreciate it. Up next on Kudlow, how real is a U.S. debt downgrade? Not how real is a spending cut. How